Okay, so this is Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is a game made by the Indie Stone, a development team credited with making Project Zomboid. That's it. They've only made Project Zomboid. Originally, there were 4 people in the UK and Canada striving to make their dream game, a perfect zombie survival game. And as time went on, they gained contributors and other very skilled individuals from all over the globe to come together like the fucking Avengers or something and make the greatest zombie survival game. You went, no, fuck it. The greatest survival game of all time. Now that's a bold ass claim, but I'm gonna stand by it because I've been playing Project Zomboid for a little while and I feel like I can make that claim. So the Indie Stone started development of this game all the way back in 2011, but hit a pretty serious fucking snag early on. The flat of the 2 developers was broken into, and the laptops containing the game's code were stolen. Yeah, that caused severe delays in the game's production for some weird reason. But the game finally hit Steam's early access in November 2013. Zomboid has about 3 distinct ages that go along with the major build releases. I'm gonna call them Early Zomboid, Middle Zomboid, and Modern Zomboid. An Early Zomboid is like you're playing with PNGs. I mean, just fucking look at this. To be fair, it was around this time I even learned about Zomboid at all, so there was definitely something there that drew me in. But you can see it looks virtually nothing like the game it would become. Middle Zomboid is the longest era in Zomboid and is the era that most of the game's features come in. It had a change in art style since early Zom. The combat feels more weighty, more animations, just tons of stuff. But it's not quite peak Zomboid, alright? Modern Zomboid is what most people know. The models are 3D now, the combat has completely changed, the soundscape was revamped, just an overall upgrade. And it's pretty peak. So I said it a couple times before, but Project Zomboid, first and foremost, is a survival game. Interestingly, the devs looked to zombie movies instead of zombie games for inspiration. The main shtick of the game is that you're gonna die. Somehow, some way, you're gonna die and it's gonna be fucked up. From starvation, to dying of thirst, to getting your guts rearranged, hey yo, to falling down the stairs and breaking your fucking everything and realizing that everything is meaningless. And you go into your closet and pull out your Remington shotgun and you put the barrel in your fucking mouth and you pull the fucking trigger. Yeah, okay, that's basically the point. Is what I'm trying to make is that you're gonna fucking die. You know, it's gonna be brutal. The game even tells you this outright as you're loading in. You know, like what the Jesus. Despite this very bleak intro, I never found myself bogged down by it ever. As soon as you load in, you immediately have to find a way to stave off the encroaching doom for as long as possible. After all, this is a survival game. You gotta survive, motherfucker. Something you notice upon loading in is that this is not a first-person survival game like Minecraft. Is that even a survival game anymore? Or DayZ or 7 Days to Die or something. Project Zomboid uses a third-person isometric point of view. It's like The Sims, but more fucked up and gorier. And I do mean gorier. Blood splatters fucking everywhere in this game, and you can crank it up to even gorier if you're, you know, in the settings, if you're a fucking weirdo. The colors are pretty standard. Not too muted, not too bright. It's very normal. It's a normal looking game. It's a game. It's a normal game. It's just a fucking, it's a game. The animations are a newer addition to the game. They elevate the visuals tremendously. Look at that glare. God damn. Look at that fucking... Jesus Christ. You can see my production in the fucking thing. Oh my God. But I love seeing my little guy doing mundane tasks like chopping wood or eating or getting fucked up on 3 bottles of bourbon in a row. Look at him go. Fun fact. If you eat food with a utensil in your inventory, your character will actually use that utensil instead of guzzling it down like a fucking barbarian. Same goes with sitting next to a campfire. If you sit on the ground next to it and face it, your character will begin warming their hands next to the fire. I don't know if there's a word for this. Conditional animation? I don't know. All I know is that it makes the game real comfy. Speaking of, this game can be surprisingly cozy at times. Watching your character feed fuel into an antique oven in a wooden cabin somewhere during a severe thunderstorm, watching the trees sway violently, hearing the rain and thunder and everything outside, and watching your character casually eat. Oh my God. That shit was... that's sublime. The sound design in this game is pretty solid too. Walking on grass sounds like walking on grass. Walking on pavement sounds like walking on pavement. Brushing through foliage, breaking glass, picking up glass, cars starting up and bashing in fucking zombie skulls all sound solid. The team at Formosa Interactive, the team responsible for the soundscape of Zomboid, did an excellent job. Zach Beaver and Armin Haas both worked on the soundtrack to the game, and it's fantastic. They even call it iconic. I remember every track from this fucking game. The vocalization in some of the songs is extremely memorable. It feels like a call to prayer in the middle of this zombie apocalypse scenario. So when you start the game, the first thing you have to do is pick a game mode. Apocalypse, Survivor, Builder, and Custom Sandbox. Apocalypse is more focused on stealth and survival. Survivor is based more on combat and killing zombies, similar to classic Zomboid. Builder is essentially like creative mode. It's focused on building and exploration than intense self-defense situations. In Custom Sandbox, you're able to change the details of the world you're spawning into, from zombie population, to how they're spread out, to weather conditions, to frequency of locked houses, fucking anything and everything. Once you've chosen your mode, you have to create your character. And you can choose from multiple classes, some of which give you more or less points to put into perks that'll help you survive. After that, you have to physically create your character, name them, then jump in. And from there, you just gotta stay alive. Looting containers is access to a drop-down menu, and you're gonna use whatever's in there to prolong the inevitable. In the top right screen, there's these little emoji-looking things that pop up. They're called moodles. They'll tell you what your character needs, like if he's hungry or thirsty or drunk off his ass. You can use all sorts of melee weapons as well as firearms to defend yourself. And if you're injured, you can access the medical screen and apply aid to the affected area. If you get bit though, yeah, there's only one solution to that problem. Here's a free tip on how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Just fucking run, Lamau! Find a working car and get the fuck out of town. Find somewhere in the countryside and hide. If you're more ballsy, you can find somewhere in town to fortify. Anywhere and everywhere is open to you, and you can make your safe house anywhere your little heart desires. Learn carpentry or become a welder, begin fortifying, start planting crops, tend to them, go off the grid, become a homesteader, and watch it all get fucking pissed away when you're on a supply run for skill books and that one piece of shit zombie bites the hell out of your groin and kills you instantly. But if you die, you can create a new character in the same world and continue surviving. There isn't a story. Yeah, not really. You can make your own adventures, like a true RPG. There is some light lore, though. The game takes place in Knox County, Kentucky in 1993. A mysterious infection has been spreading all around the county. The military evacuate the county and set up a border around the area called the Knox Exclusion Zone. The Knox event, as it's called, gets covered by all the major news outlets, and you're stuck right in the middle of it all. You get pieces of lore and story from radio broadcasts and television programs you can watch or listen to. The story happens all around you, but so far nothing directly impacts you. Oh yeah, well, except for one thing. I'll leave it there. Project Zomboid is a great video game. It can be comfy. It can be intense. It can be slow. It can be fast. It could be whatever you want to make it. Genuinely, the best zombie survival simulator on the market today. I definitely give this 9.5%. First of all, don't question me. Second of all, even though I've been sucking this game off stupid style for like the past however many minutes, it's still got some flaws. Some. The ladders aren't climbable. Multiplayer can be a mess, and I can't remember the specifics of this, but I remember reading somewhere that this game's engine is horribly outdated, and that they can't keep adding more and more and more to this engine, and that's been messing with the game's progress. Again, I can't remember the details, so don't quote me on that. But if anyone knows, please educate me, because I feel like that should be addressed. Overall, though, fantastic game. And if there's a feature you feel is missing, guess what? There's a mod for it. There's a fucking mod for it. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'll see you all next time. I need an outro.